Welcome to another episode of Let's Be Real. Today, we are going to be covering some quick roundup news from the entirety of January until now. So those are Tom Cruise moving to Warner Brothers, Top Gun 3. We're going to be discussing new Disney release dates from some upcoming films, the Critics' Choice Awards, the Razzie nominations, and of course, the Oscar nominations. So we're here. Finally, I am in Australia. Nayan is in New Zealand. So we're doing remote full time from now on. This one is just an audio recording. We are going to be jumping over to video shortly. But right now, I'm just not in the space to do that. Just been filling up the house with a bunch of stuff. So got to spend money on all that stuff. Nayan's also enjoying the luxury life in Tauranga temporarily before he jumps back up into good old Auckland, which I miss because it's nice and chilly there and it's very hot here. But I am your host today, James, and I have the privilege, the honor to be joined by Nayan. How are we doing, mate?
Good, bro. You said it perfectly. I'm enjoying the life down here in Tauranga. All of them Aucklanders are annoying as fuck, so it's nice to get away from them and just chill in, Auckland with a major city. It's nice to come down to like a chill city, slow down the pace. So been down here for 2 weeks, got another week before I head back up to the chaos.
Fair enough. Yeah, enjoy that last week.
What about you? I only came down to Tauranga for 3 weeks. You've been in Brisbane for 4.
Oh man, it's been a wild ride. And obviously, some insider details about what I've been going through, but it's been a really long, exhausting journey to get to the point to where I am right now. But I'm excited to be here. The lifestyle seems great, and I'm just looking forward to getting settled down. But I've been here, for 1 month and 1 day now. I have very much missed talking about movies. I've missed hanging out with the lads, man. I love my partner. She's great, and I've had a good time with her. But I do miss the lads, and talking about this kind of stuff. So it's good to be back. Yes. You, of course. All right. We've missed a lot of crucial news over the last month, but I've been looking at our numbers and it seems like, we're getting some good listeners still. So thanks for everyone to keep listening to our content, and we are officially back up and running again. So you're going to be hearing from us regarding all the big news that is coming out. So I thought today on this one, as I'm starting to get set up again, we're just going to do, some quick fire reactions, opinions, and takes on some of the news that have come over the last month. So you'll be seeing some stuff that have come out recently, some stuff that was kind of announced early in January. So we'll just dive straight into the action, eh? All right. So the first one we're going to talk about is Tom Cruise moving to Warner Brothers. I guess moving is not really the right term here. He works with Universal, he works with Paramount, but his parent company really is Paramount. He does a lot of stuff with them. But he has signed. Sorry,
Mission Impossible mainly.
Yeah, and Top Gun's with Paramount as well, I believe. Yeah. His big ones. But he has signed a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery to develop original and franchise movie, in which he'll be starring in all of them. So we know kind of what Warner Brothers brings when it comes to the really, I guess, high caliber cinema. And I'm talking like stuff like, Dune, Mad Max, when Nolan was there, all that kind of stuff. So what are your thoughts on Tom Cruise signing a deal with Warner Bros. Discovery?
Yeah, it's interesting. He's starring in all of them as well. So
he's going to be busy.
Yeah, he's going to be very, very busy. I'll be interested to see what sort of projects he is wanting to work on. I think that's the main thing. Whether he brings Top Gun over to Warner Brothers or not, or if that will be Paramount exclusive. I have a feeling it'll be Paramount exclusive. But I'm more excited for him to try start a new original franchise, because I think that's what the movie industry is lacking nowadays, is new franchises. It's all just repeats or remakes and stuff. So I hope he does that. And we all know he's always committed to all of his roles. So I think we'll get a lot more stunt heavy sort of films. as to what type of films I want to see him in. I think action is his forte. That's his niche.
Yeah.
He can do stunts and stuff like that. Although I
Mhm.
would love a comedy from Tom Cruise. I think the last comedy I've seen him in was Tropic Thunder, and he was great in that. So I really hope he could do a comedy just to like branch out his
Mhm.
whatever
Yeah.
acting.
No, I think it would thrive in comedy. So I hope he does, yeah, more versatile stuff. But obviously actions where he's really good in, and that's kind of his strength. So it'll be interesting because I know that, Edge of Tomorrow or whatever, Live Die
Yeah,
Repeat or something. That second one's in development, I feel like it's been in development for 10 years now. But you also got the last Mission Impossible plus whatever else they do, which I presume he'll be involved in.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll have Top Gun 3. He's busy, man, and I think he's in his 60s now, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes, and just understanding what kind of deal this is will be very interesting to see. But Tom Cruise is truly like he's setting himself up to be, the kind of the most powerful actor in Hollywood. Like when it's news that someone's signing a deal to develop these movies with them and it's an actor, it's not like, it's not like franchise rights or studios and all that kind of stuff. It's not like Sony giving Marvel Spider-Man rights or anything like that. It's like an actor saying, yeah, I'm gonna, develop all these movies with you. I've never really heard of a news where an actor and this kind of news story has come out.
No, not really. I think there's probably three actors that could probably do this. It'll be Tom
Mm.
Cruise, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Leo that would probably do something like this, where they just commit to a
Mm.
certain studio. But this is the first from my memory where a certain actor has been like, "This is my studio now. I'm going to
Yeah.
help create this and also star in
Mhm.
it."
Yeah, I mean, I there's a lot that I hate about Warner Brothers, but also I love that I lot. Sorry, there's a lot that I love about Warner Brothers as well. And when Warner Brothers is hitting all the right, or checking all the right boxes, they can make kind of movie magic. And we're seeing that. We're going to see that with Dune, next month. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. And that's an excellent segue into our next topic, which is talking about Top Gun 3. If you didn't think this movie was ever going to come out, I don't know why you would think that, because this made so much money. Everybody loved it. Random people I talked to on the street talked about it to me. So I knew everyone loved it. And obviously, they're going to do a Top Gun 3. So, yeah, that's an early development now with Paramount. And so Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, and Glen Powell will all be starring in this one. And the director of Top Gun Maverick, Joseph Kosinski, he's either going to be directing or producing this next one. So Nayan, Top Gun 3, I don't have to ask if you're excited for it because I think I know that answer. But where do you think the story can really go with this? And can they replicate the magic that Top Gun Maverick did?
I'll answer your second question first. I don't think they can replicate the magic. I think what works so well about the second Top Gun was that they've taken pretty much a semi-popular franchise in Top Gun 1, waited
Mm-hmm.
X amount of years, and then remade it, and everyone didn't think a bar of it. And then it came out and it just blew everyone away. You had fresh faces, you had Tom Cruise
Yeah.
returning, it had an actual proper story, a proper purpose as well. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't know where they could go with Top Gun 3. I mean, pretty much the end of Top Gun 3 was pretty much all the bridges that was burnt got
Mm-hmm.
fixed, with Glen Powell's character. I wouldn't expect him to be
Redemption.
like an arrogant cunt in Top Gun 3
Yeah.
because, he's him and Miles Teller character,
Mm-hmm.
Rooster, has like that respect now. So unless it's going to be like the new generation teaching the old generation, similar to how Tom Cruise did it in Top
Mm-hmm.
Gun 2, and then maybe I don't know, Tom Cruise would be like a high ranking officer in the Top Gun Academy or something like that. I have no idea where it'll go, but either way, we all know that we're going to see real actors and real planes flying those actual planes, crazy stunts,
Mm-hmm.
and Tom Cruise will have something amazing to do.
Yeah.
I think everyone should be excited for it. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows where the story will go, but it's definitely one to 100% watch.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember when the Top Gun Maverick came out, and I think we had it on one most anticipated, but then it kept getting delayed, and then we just weren't excited for it all. But I don't think, you, I, or anyone else expected Top Gun Maverick to be as great as it was. And so now I don't have any doubt whenever a new Top Gun's going to come out, I'm going to be excited for it regardless. But I completely agree. As like, I don't know where the story can go because the second one really complements the first one. And the third one, unless it comes out in 10 years, can't do the same thing that Top Gun Maverick did. And, when you think about the mission in Top Gun Maverick and the urgency behind that, it's done so well that the third one, I don't know how you can raise those kind of stakes or raise that urgency without it feeling like it's just doing the same thing but different, And in terms of like where the characters go, there's no drama or friction in between any of those characters because they came to the resolutions by the end of the movie. So unless Miles Teller's rooster has a son and then Tom Cruise does something to him, but then I don't know.
They could always introduce a new, like, cocky, arrogant sort of person. But they already have that in Glen Powell, who redeemed himself somewhat. So unless it's like these characters like building their relationship and like ushering or setting the foundations for the new era, I don't know. I'm not a screenwriter. I'm not a.
Before we go on to the next one, I think the one thing that could possibly work is the Army introducing remote jet planes, and so
like similar to drones and stuff.
Yeah, and they're trying to push these guys out, and then they have to prove that only a human can perform a mission like this.
That would actually be awesome, human versus AI, and the topic about AI recently in the past couple of years could be very relevant.
Or they bring it into Mission Impossible, and then the AI from Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning is the villain in Top Gun 3.
Oh, so that means Tom Cruise is an actor in 2 movies set in the same universe.
And you find out he's a twin.
He's a twin. Oh, God. What is it? Pete Mitchell and Ethan, whatever?
And it'd be like the Tom-verse, Cruise-verse.
That'll be hype.
Yeah.
As long as his character from Tropic Thunder is in there somewhere, I'm game.
That would be the best. Just to see him come and save the day with some little end game, and it's just all Tom Cruise characters coming out.
That is a $1 billion movie.
It's a $1 billion movie. But we're going to move on now to some new Disney release dates. Some were expected and some are a massive surprise. And the massive surprise is Moana 2. Releases November 27th this year. That's right. This year in February, they're announcing a movie that comes out. What's that? 9 months? 10 months? I don't know. One of those two. But I've never seen a major studio drop some or announce something within the same year for a major movie like this. And from what I've read, Moana 2 was meant to be a TV show, but they thought it was so good that we'll make it a movie. Nayan, thoughts about Moana 2, the animated version, not the live action, and it coming out this year?
That was crazy. I woke up, did my daily routine, and I saw that this was a little teaser on Twitter, and I was like, the fuck? No way. And I Googled it, and it was true. And I was like, hey? And I was like, I swear we would have discussed this on a podcast. So what I did, I went to moviegames.com. Feel free to go there as well. And I went to our podcast section, and I had a look at all of our show notes for the stuff we did within the past couple of years. And there was nothing about Moana 2. And I was like, the hell? This just dropped out of nowhere. I was so confused. And then you boys started talking about it on the chat. I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. This is actual like happening. Like this just dropped out of nowhere, which is strange because we're going to get this in 9 months, and then in 7 months time after this, we're going to get the live action. So it's like, what? But
I'm too much Moana.
Am I excited for it? Not really. I enjoyed the first one, but I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan.
No, I really like the first one. I think a lot more than others. I don't know if this would have made my most anticipated, but it's just so weird for them to announce something like this within the same year. It feels a little bit like panic mode, like they need a major movie in there. Because what's the Pixar? It's just Inside Out 2 this year. They have a really low year, so I think they're just kind of rushing this, and we'll see what the final product's like, but it should be interesting. Besides that, the next year's one is Zootopia 2, one I'm really, really excited for. And I'm sure you're going to be excited for that one as well.
Oh, 100%. I really love Zootopia. That's probably going to be featured in the top 5 most anticipated for next year. Really
Oh,
looking
how
forward
good.
to it. There's so much to explore in this world as well. Like so
Yeah,
much, just like how the animal kingdom came about and stuff like
yeah,
that. So definitely looking forward to this one a lot more than Moana 2.
yeah, 100%. I don't know why it took so long to come because, yeah, the first one was, I think it made nearly $1 billion. I think it won Best Animated Picture. Everyone loved it. I don't know why it took so long to make. And then you got your ones that have been announced or have been announced for a while now. And Toy Story 5 and Frozen 3, they drop in 2026, so you get some good stuff there as well. I don't know how much I'm looking forward to them. Especially the Toy Story 5, I am iffy about it because I have heard that Woody and Buzz are going to be reunited, and it's just kind of makes the fourth one a little bit more meaningless. And I've just over the past couple of days I've just watched all the Toy Stories again, just rewatching them, and they just end it so perfectly, especially with 3 and 4. I love the endings to those movies, and you keep diluting this by making more. At least move on from Woody and Buzz. I think that's probably the best way to go.
Really awesome. I think I've read a
Mhm.
few comments online. I think we've discussed in the past is that if they just focus on Andy and his kids and his story and his
Mhm.
toys and their story,
Yeah.
like we get fresh characters. There can be
Mhm.
references to Woody and Buzz by
Yeah.
Andy, and there's still
Mhm.
familiar faces around. By having
Yeah.
Buzz and Woody reunite, that you're right, it does devalue everything the fourth one book towards, especially that
Mhm.
final scene.
Yeah.
But then again, when Toy Story 4 was announced, we all complained, had the same issues, and look what happened. It was
I
actually
know.
really, really good. So I think when it comes to Pixar and Toy Story, it is the one
Mhm.
franchise that they do absolutely properly. If there was no story, if they didn't believe in it, we wouldn't be seeing
Mhm.
it. So they must have a story here to share.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I
Oh,
would just love Toy Story. I would love Toy Story 5 to focus on how kids aren't playing with toys anymore and just focus on electronics and just I don't know. I think you could do something
I,
really interesting with that.
I think if there's any animated studio that could do that, it would be Pixar because they push the
Yeah.
boundaries so much. I think this is a perfect
Mhm.
one for them to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows if
Yeah.
they
And like
will
no
go
one's
down
gonna
that
play
route.
with it. Yeah. No one's gonna play with a Woody doll anymore. Like
Yeah.
maybe a Buzz Lightyear, but not Woody. And the last one, and that comes out in 2026, that was recently announced, is The Mandalorian and Grogu becoming a movie. And I think we got season 4. I don't know if it'll come out this year or next year, but 4 seasons and a movie. Thoughts on that?
What's the purpose of the movie, really? I mean, you're doing it in a TV show already. We've had 4 seasons of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, what's the
Yeah.
movie gonna be? It's just gonna be like what, 4 episodes into one? It's baffling. I'll definitely go see it, see what it's like, but it's nothing different to what we're already getting. Just instead
Mhm.
of like watching it over a certain X amount of hours, we're just getting it all at once in a dark theater.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where it can go. I guess we got to see the end of season 4 to really understand where it's going. But I mean, we've seen season 1, 2, and 3, and I don't know about you, but to me, it felt like they were losing story in season 3. Like they were just kind of they
Yeah,
don't know where to take these characters, and I don't know where they can take them now. I feel like they completed their journey at the end
yeah.
of season 2, which I thought was brilliant, by the way.
Wasn't there
So
also a I can't remember if it was a TV series or a movie where they were going to wrap up all of the Star Wars TV series in that movie.
yeah, that was going to be a movie by Dave Filoni, and I don't know if it's actually this movie, but yeah, it's going to be Ahsoka. What else have they done on Disney Plus?
Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
Yeah, and just kind of wrapping up all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what they're doing and when the other Star Wars movies are coming out, but yeah, it just should be good. They've done pretty well with Mandalorian and Grogu, so I have some faith that they can do something, but I'm still not convinced yet. But yeah, I'll definitely be seeing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to move on now to something that we missed at the time, and that's the Critics' Choice Awards. The winners from that. So we're going to kind of blitz through this one, and we'll just start off from the top heavy categories first. So Best Picture, the winner of that was Oppenheimer, and the others nominated were American Fiction, Barbie, The Color Purple, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, and Saltburn. Oppenheimer wins that one. So name, shocking, surprise?
Not
No.
at all. It's the theme of the award season this year.
Yeah, Oppenheimer is dominating and it's sweeping everything. I think it's its time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Best Actor. Nominees were Bradley Cooper, Leonardo DiCaprio, Coleman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright. And Paul Giamatti won for The Holdovers.
Good.
So, yeah, it's a good one. I think that's our pick, pretty much, for like what we wish for.
Yeah, it's our pick. It's really good. Paul Giamatti
Mm-hmm.
is probably the best actor of 2023.
Yeah.
Especially if his lazy eye is real. Because he definitely does not have a lazy eye. So if that's not prosthetics or something, and he actually did that, give this guy a paycheck more than The Rock and anyone else, because that was amazing. So yeah,
That
but
would be the performance of the century if that was true.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, I think it really it's just come down to Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti, in this race for Best Actor, and this one just further adds a division between the two actors. Um, Moving on to Best Actress. Nominees were Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Greta Lee in Past Lives, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, Margaret Robbie in Barbie, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. And Emma Stone from Poor Things wins. Shock to you there, or no?
no, she's my pick to win the Oscar as well, and I think she is the best actress of 2023. I know a lot of hype is around Lady Gladstone. She's not the best actress; she's the best supporting actress. But Emma Stone was phenomenal. She literally carried that movie, and the way that she progressed her character on screen within that 2 hours was just fantastic.
Yeah, no, she's definitely the best of the year for me. And this is the most stacked I've ever seen Best Actress personally. It's been so hard. I mean, Carey Mulligan and Maestro, remember what she did in that movie?
Yeah.
And then Sandra Hüller's great, Lily Gladstone's great. It's so packed for like good performances here. But it is between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. But I think Lily Gladstone didn't get nominated in BAFTAs, which was quite a bit of a shock. So I think Emma Stone now actually has the lead and is probably the most likely to win it. And it's her best performance. I think she absolutely deserves it. Best Supporting Actor. So the nominees were Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, Charles Melton in May December, Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. So the winner was Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. And I guess we can start saying that he's a lock to win it now.
Agreed. Yeah, he won the Golden Globe, he won this. So I think it's just everything's going his way. His main competition didn't even get nominated, which is Charles Melton. So
I mean, yeah, and Ryan Gosling, I don't know if he's going to be a strong competition. I won't say he's a lock yet, but he's a strong front runner. If he wins the SAG, it's over. It's done. And yeah, he has the best second act of his career ever that I've ever seen.
definitely
Going from the most successful franchise and getting paid like what 50, 60 million for each Avengers
something
movie.
Something stupid.
Yeah, to making Oscar movies now with Christopher Nolan. Okay, so good. Best Supporting Actress: Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Inyad, Julianne Moore in May December, Davine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers, and surprise, surprise, Davine Joy Randolph wins. This one is a lock.
This is a lock. Bet your house, bet your family, bet your babies on this. She's going to win the best supporting actress at the Oscars.
Bet everything. You're going to make good money if you bet everything. Don't worry. You can pay off your mortgage because you're going to win this one. It's 100%. Just too easy. Yeah.
And if there's an upset, don't blame us.
Best acting ensemble, we have Air, Barbie, The Color Purple, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer won. Doesn't surprise me. It had like cameos of every popular actor ever, I felt like. And they all did a great job in it. There's nothing that can actually really compete with Oppenheimer in terms of ensemble of acting. Like,
Yeah, probably not. Maybe Barbie. They'll probably be the second pick for
maybe Barbie,
silver.
yeah. Or perhaps The Color Purple. They had some really good actors in that. A
Yeah.
good ensemble of people. Otherwise, Best Director nominees Bradley Cooper and Maestro, Greta Gerwig in Barbie, Yorgos Lanthimos in Poor Things, Christopher Nolan in Oppenheimer, Alexander Payne in The Holdovers, Martin Scorsese in Killers of the Flower Moon. And the winner is Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. And I don't want to say a lock because I'll get too happy and excited and he'll be snubbed on the day. But it's looking like a lock, right? It's coming.
It's looking very good for Christopher Nolan. And
Mhm.
the only people that could take away that from Nolan is the Academy. But I
Mhm.
definitely think he definitely deserves it.
Yeah. He deserves it, and I think he's coming for it as well. But I don't want to get my hopes up. Otherwise, Oscar Day is going to be a sad day for me if he doesn't win. Um, all right. Nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay: Kelly Fremont Craig for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Andrew Haig for All of Us Strangers. Cord Jefferson for American Fiction. Tony McNamara for Poor Things. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Eric Roth and Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. And the winner of this one was Cord Jefferson for American Fiction. Thoughts?
Haven't seen it yet, so can't really judge, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a stacked category this year. Anyone could really win it, but
Yeah.
maybe when I see American Fiction, I could probably give a better opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm surprised that, none of Poor Things or Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon won. I feel like they're the ones leading that category at the moment. As for Best Original Screenplay, you have Sammy Birch for May December, Alex Convery for Air, Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer for Maestro, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach for Barbie, David Hemmingson for The Holdovers, Celine Song for Past Lives, the winner being Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach for Barbie.
Should have been the holdovers, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, The Holdovers is definitely the strong one for me. Or
Definitely.
May December, personally. I do love the screenplay for that. Yeah. All right, we're getting into the technical categories now. So I'm just gonna say the winner and for best cinematography, Hoyt van Hoytema for Oppenheimer won that one.
Lock.
Lock, yeah, easy lock. I think I don't see anyone else winning. Maybe a surprise from Rodrigo Prieto for Killers of the Flower Moon. Otherwise, yeah, no one else is coming into that one. Best production design, the winner, Sarah Greenwood and Katie Spencer for Barbie. I'm not going to say that's a lock yet. It's a front runner, but James Price, Shona Heath, and Susanna Mahalik for Poor Things might take that one as well. Both the strong ones for that. Otherwise, everyone else is not really a part of it. Best editing, Jennifer Lane for Oppenheimer won. No, I don't see anyone else winning that one either.
Lock.
I mean, lock. I will say lock, but if Thelma Schoonmaker for Killers of the Flower Moon wins it, I wouldn't be too surprised. They made a 3.5 hour movie watchable, so I guess that's a really strong thing to do.
And like blitz pass real fast too.
Yeah. Best costume design. Jacqueline Duran for Barbie won that one. I don't know if that one's a lock, but it's not. I mean, because I think Poor Things does it really well, and
And
I
killers.
think yeah, that's true. So that one could be a strong one, but if I had to put my money on it today, I would say Barbie is going to win that one. Best hair and makeup, Barbie won that one as well. I don't think it was even nominated or it wasn't even shortlisted at the Oscars. I mean, Let me just check that. Yeah, because yeah, it's not even nominated. So Barbie, I don't think has a chance to win that one. And I think it deserved that nomination. But yeah, you're probably looking at Maestro to win it. I still believe in Maestro for best hair and makeup, or even Poor
Definitely.
Things, perhaps. Yeah. Um. Okay. Best visual effects. Oppenheimer won.
And
It
it's not
wasn't even
even
shortlisted.
nominated.
Yeah, it wasn't even shortlisted, man. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania was. That's how bad it was.
It just goes to
Um.
show that no one knows who's going to win visual effects.
Yeah, it could be the creator. Could be Guardians 3. Godzilla -1 wasn't even on here.
Yeah,
Not even nominated. Weird.
crazy.
Um, Best comedy was Barbie. I guess that's fair, considering the others nominated in the list. Poor Things. It's not really a comedy, I don't think. Not that much. Best animated film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Still not giving up on The Boy and the Heron, but I would say that Across the Spider-Verse is a really clear front runner at this point now. It's
Hmm.
not even. And The Boy and the Heron can surprise, but otherwise, I think Across the Spider-Verse is pretty much in line to get this one. Best foreign language film. You guys know I don't like talking about this one. Anatomy of a Fall won, but hey, it wasn't even nominated because France didn't submit it. They submitted The Taste of Things, which weren't even nominated. So France shot themselves in the foot.
Hmm. Easy one for Zone of Interest then.
Easy win for Zone of Interest. Yeah, so that's a such an annoying category for this one. Bloody France. Um, Sorry to you Frenchies out there. Best song, I'm Just Ken for Barbie one.
I want this one to win, and I want Ryan Gosling to perform it at the Oscars.
He said that he would consider performing it, but he doesn't know. And
Just do it.
apparently, yeah, apparently
It
he
would be
doesn't
like,
have to if he doesn't want to.
yeah, I read that too. It'll just be so, it will be an iconic moment
Yeah, it'd be
if
so
that
great.
happened.
Yeah, it'd be the best. Um, Personally, I don't know why it would win. I mean, I love it in like a really iconic way, but I don't know. It's just yeah. Did you see the reaction to when it won for best song?
No.
No, yeah, like it like played. I just saw the clip of it, and they're like, "Oh, the winner is I'm Just Ken," and Ryan Gosling's like looking like all confused, like, "Wait, really?" It's just so it's such a good reaction. So he obviously doesn't think about it as highly as the others. Um, Best score and Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer, won.
Look.
Basically a lock. Yeah, I don't know anyone else that could. I think Robbie Robertson for Killers of the Flower Moon potentially because he passed away this year, and they might want to offer the final thing for recognition. Well, Ludwig Göransson's at the start of a really promising career, so that could sway some Academy voters' minds. But otherwise, Ludwig for the win. And Oppenheimer to sweep by the looks of it. Yeah. But those were the Critic Choice Awards. We'll move on now and we'll do this one quite quickly. And that is the Razzies, the Razzie nominations. These are the worst of the worst for the year. And so, yeah, we're going to go through them. So, worst picture, The Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Meg 2 The Trench, Shazam Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I've only seen one of these.
Me
And
too.
how have you? Yeah. But they all sounded awful. So I don't have any disagreements there. Worst actor, Russell Crowe, The Pope's Exorcist. A lot of Exorcist kind of movies. Vin Diesel, Fast X. Chris Evans, Ghosted. Jason Statham, Meg 2 The Trench. John Voight, Mercy.
Chris Evans has this surely.
That was in our worst things. I had the Ghosted movie.
Mm-hmm.
Vin Diesel and Fast X, worst actor. You agree with that one?
I mean, he was just Vin Diesel in every other Fast and Furious movie.
Exactly. I don't know why he's like what to expect. It's not like you thought he was going to be good. It's
So
just
dumb.
he's the exact same. Worst actress Anna Diarmas for Ghosted, Megan Fox, Johnny and Clyde, whatever that is, Salma Hayek for Magic Mike's Last Dance, Jennifer Lopez, The Mother, and Helen Mirren for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Helen Mirren, I don't even remember her in that movie.
I think she
Do
was the
you?
main villain. I thought Megan Fox would have been nominated for Expendables 4. I heard her performance and that was fucking atrocious.
I do remember she was in that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what Johnny and Clyde is. But yeah.
Oh, well.
I haven't seen anything else other than Anna Diarmas and Helen Mirren. I mean, Anna Diarmas was fine. I think it's the movie that's really the bad part of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But poor Anna Diarmas, she got nominated for Best Actress last year, and
Mhm.
now being Worst Actress. Worst Supporting Actress, we have Kim Cattrall for About My Father, Megan Fox for Expendables. There you go. She's in this one. Bao Ling for Johnny and Clyde. Still don't know what that is. Lucy Liu, Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Mary Stuart Masterson for Five Nights at Freddy's.
We'll just
Five
go
Nights at
Megan
Freddy's.
Fox. I heard her performance was bad, so that's my pick.
I haven't seen it. I was going to go to the screening, but I was like, no, it's not going to be good.
I haven't seen it either.
Lucy Liu. Yeah, I'm not definitely going to watch it now. It's a waste of time. Worst supporting actor, Michael Douglas, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Bill Murray, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Mel Gibson, Confidential Informant. Franco Nero, The Pope's Exorcist. Sylvester Stallone, Expendables. I love the Ant-Man nominations personally.
I'm gonna
Bill
go Bill
Murray
Murray
especially.
because his character was so fucking dumb.
But it's stupid. It's just so bad. All right. Worst screen couple. Any two merciless mercenaries in Expendables. Any two money grabbing investors who donated to the 400 million for remake rights to The Exorcist. Anna Diarmas and Chris Evans who flunked screen chemistry and Ghosted. Salma Hayek and Channing Tatum in Magic Mike's Last Dance. Pooh and Piglet as bloodthirsty slashers/killers in Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. This is just funny. I mean,
I assuming you didn't write this. I assume you got it from the Razzie website.
yeah, it's exactly
Mm.
how they wrote it, exactly like this.
Yeah, Anna Diarmas and Chris Evans gonna win because that was fucking atrocious. No chemistry at all.
I mean, I do love Pooh and Piglet as bloodthirsty killers. It's so good. All right. Worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, The Exorcist Believer, Expendables, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Still Beating a Dead Horse, Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. I just love their names that they come up for it. And I'm glad Indiana Jones does get a little nod here because I felt like that was overrated,
Oh,
even though it was
100%.
yeah, it was not bad at all. I mean, it was very bad. Sorry. I
Mm.
forgot almost all of it. I just remember them going back in time to like the
The
Roman
the
age and
Romans so stupid. And do you want to stay there and then not end up staying there? It's just fuck it. That's the winner.
that's the winner. Worst director, we have Reese Frake Waterfield, Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey, David Gordon Green for The Exorcist Believer, Peyton Reed for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Scott whatever, for Expendables, and Ben Wheatley for Meg 2: The Trench. Yeah, that's pretty much in line with the other nominations. Worst screenplay, we have The Exorcist Believer, The Expendables 4, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Can I Go Home Now, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. I just love the call outs to Indiana Jones. It's so funny.
Indiana Jones is gonna win that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, Shazam was pretty awful as well. But I need to see Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey, honestly. It
It's
sounds
it's it's
funny.
a meme movie.
Yeah. I might watch it tonight. All right, so now we're going to move on to the polar opposite, which is the Oscar nominations. And this is one that I would have really loved to have covered at the time, but obviously things weren't in flow for me and Nan at the time. So we're going to do it now. You're going to get our take, and you're going to see what we think is in line to win out of these. But we'll dive straight into it. We'll start with we'll end with the really more important categories. So for best visual effects, the nominees were The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. Now, to me, this feels like a great list, a great set of nominees. In terms of the winner of it, you don't know where visual effects is going. I would just say creator is a safe choice for now.
Yeah, this one is anyone's game, really. I mean, majority of stuff that has won hasn't been nominated. I mean, we covered it before. Oppenheimer won the CCAs.
Yeah.
They weren't even shortlisted or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think the creator does have the best visual effects. I
Yeah.
think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 could compete,
Mm-hmm.
but I just really want to see Godzilla -1 take that. That's going to be my upset. I'm picking Godzilla.
Oh, really? You're gonna go for the upset, the dark horse? No, I love it. I mean, it could win. I don't know. But the creator thinks it's just a safe option in a really weird category this year. Best sound, we got the creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. And for me, I mean, I haven't seen Zone of Interest yet. That's probably the last one I really have to see. Oppenheimer is one that I think is the strongest for this. But since they've combined, best sound mixing, best sound editing into this one category here, I think Maestro might actually be a little bit of a contender just because of the mixing side of it and the way Leonard Bernstein, composing and orchestrating all that kind of stuff. I think it is going to be a really strong competitor for Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I still think it's Oppenheimer's game
Yeah.
to win, but you're right.
Mm.
Maestro is probably the closest contender.
I do think Mission Impossible getting the nomination was surprising for this. It was really good, but I just didn't expect Mission Impossible to get anything other than visual effects.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part about Mission Impossible is probably its score in terms of sound wise. I don't think the sound editing or mixing was as good as the actual score. So yeah, I was a bit surprised about this.
Yeah. Moving on to best production design, we have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think it's quite safe to say that Barbie is the strong frontrunner for this, like we said beforehand. Although Poor Things could be a surprise contender in there.
Yeah, I'd really like Poor Things to win. I mean, yeah, Barbie ran the world out of pink paint, but the detailing and Poor Things, having penis-shaped windows and like a brothel, that's so creative that we don't see nowadays in films. So I definitely think I so hope that it does get the recognition it deserves. But I wouldn't be surprised if Barbie wins, and I wouldn't be mad either.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones, perhaps except Napoleon, where anything could win, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Like they're all so good in their own unique ways.
I could make a case for Napoleon. I mean,
Yeah.
the production design wasn't so bad in that. The movie was bad. The movie was boring, but in our review we highlighted that the best part of it was its production and costume and stuff like that. So.
True. But it's my dislike for the movie that comes into this. Best original song, the nominees were The Fire Inside, and Flamin' Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Wazazi, A Song for My People, and Killer of the Flower Moon. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that one. What Was I Made For in Barbie? So I think this just comes down to the Barbie songs. I don't know which one's going to win.
I think so too. I mean, you would have to say What Was I Made For has a slight lead over it, considering it won the Globe.
Yeah.
But I'm Just Ken that won the Critics' Choice.
Well, I'm Just Ken has been winning everything in terms of critic awards. The critic circles, the precursors and stuff. But What Was I Made For? It just feels like that Academy song.
It does.
It comes in that very pivotal moment of the movie while I'm Just Ken's kind of like it's part. Yeah, it's meta, it's ironic, but I think it's great in its own unique way. I just hope it wins just because I can't wait for the memes that come if it wins.
It'll be awesome if it did win. But again, I'm not mad if either one of them win.
Yeah.
I just want to see Ryan Gosling perform it.
That's all I want out here. That's all I need. Best original score, the nominees, American Fiction, Indiana Jones, and The Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'll make a quick note that the Zone of Interest didn't get nominated. I've heard that has a great score. You can confirm that in a bit. Also, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I know has a brilliant score, was not nominated. So what are your thoughts on that? Does first of all, does Zone of Interest deserve nomination? Is it as good as I've heard?
It is good. The thing is that one of these have to give. I haven't seen American Fiction.
Yes.
But the two that was admitted, Zone of Interest and Spider-Verse, like only one could potentially make it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard, like toss a coin, because both of those have like amazing scores. I think Spider-Verse scores, I think it did get a snub. I think the only reason why Indiana Jones got nominated was because of John Williams in his potentially last film.
Potentially, yeah. Well,
potentially last film.
Yeah, I looked into it afterwards because I'm like, if they're going to nominate him for his final one, then sure. But he's gone on record to saying that he's open to doing more now because he just can't throw away his life. And he said he wants to do it. I forgot who he wanted to model it after, but there was some composer who kept composing at age 100 and he wanted to do that. But
he's close to 100.
He's like 90 something, man. Like,
yeah, and that comment about wasting his life, I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I think, and you know what I'm thinking, but
yeah,
don't know if I can say it. But yeah, I definitely think Zone of Interest deserves its spot in here. Same as Spider-Verse. I need to watch American Fiction because if American Fiction is not as good as both those films, then that's two easy films that can come out to replace those two films.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't imagine a world where Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse didn't get nominated, and I'm living it, so I'm not sad. Yeah, Indiana Jones is a massive show, and it feels very forced, in my opinion. When it should come, it should come down to the best score, not based on the person and their legacy and stuff. I think,
like Jamie Lee Curtis winning Best Supporting Actress 2023.
It's a legacy award there. Yeah, I think with John Williams though, we all know. I would say he is the GOAT of, composing for film.
He composed so many iconic themes. You got Jurassic Park, Superman, Star Wars.
Yeah,
a fuckload more.
Did he do Harry Potter? I think he did Harry Potter.
I think the first two he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy doesn't need any more accolades. Like, he already is the GOAT. Like, that's the only title you need. You don't need a golden statue.
Yeah, no, yeah, like he did Indiana Jones, yeah, Superman. He did E.T. Yeah, he did the Harry Potters as well. He's done I think he's the GOAT when it comes to film composers. So yeah, he doesn't need it. You're right.
Jaws as well. I'm pretty sure he did Jaws.
Yeah, because he always goes to Spielberg. Best makeup and hairstyling. The nominees are Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Society of the Snow, which is one that I actually want to watch. Do you know about Society of the Snow? I feel like, well, it's a Spanish movie, but it's about, you might know the story. It's about a team of rugby players and there's like plane crashes in like the Alps or something like that. And they have to survive until they get rescued or something like that.
Never heard of it, but
I think it might be Uruguay rugby team, which
let's go Uruguay.
But for this category at least, I think Maestro is the front runner. Poor Things,
I think
has a chance. Yeah. It's good to see Oppenheimer actually got recognized. I did not think that would happen.
Did it have that much makeup and hairstyling? Oh, I guess at the end where like
it shows all them aging and stuff.
Characters aged. Yeah, I think that's probably the main part where they did makeup and hairstyling.
It's subtle, but you can see Cillian Murphy aging throughout the film and Emily Blunt and stuff, and that they look really, really good. But yeah, Maestro and Poor Things are your top two there. Best international feature film. This is one that just has to be said because it's stupid. So you got Io Capitano, that I believe is Italy's submission. Perfect Days, which is Japan's submission. Society of the Snow, which is Spain's submission. The Teacher's Lounge, which is Germany's submission. And The Zone of Interest, which is UK's submission, which I don't know.
Wait, where's France's submission?
Oh yeah, they didn't do it. They submitted The Taste of Things. Remember, not Anatomy of a Fall?
Idiots.
Yeah, remember Anatomy of a Fall won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, the highest thing you can win at that festival. And I know the Taste of Things won Best Director, but they still decided the Taste of Things, not the Palme d'Or winner, Anatomy of a Fall.
I would have
Which is
loved a
actually,
battle between Anatomy of a Fall and the Zone of Interest.
I
That
would
would
have
have been
loved
the
it.
biggest like international face-off ever.
I know it would have
But
been right.
Zone of Interest, it's gonna win.
Sweet. Yeah, it's gonna win because they decided to submit the wrong thing. I don't know why they did that, but Anatomy of a Fall, I probably would have that would have won this category. France would have won,
100%.
but now
Yeah.
they're not even nominated. Like, it annoys me. And like, we've spoken about international feature film before, but anyone who doesn't know, a country has to submit one film to be considered. They don't just the Academy doesn't like consider all the films that all the countries have done. So that's why Anatomy of a Fall is not nominated. Just so you know.
I wish we
Um,
submitted Loop Track.
I wonder what New Zealand's one was. It probably was
It
Loop
would have been
Track.
Loop Track. That's the only one I can think of that New Zealand made that last year.
Well, we've met the director and spoken to him, so it would be
Okay.
cool. It would be me and Loop Track one. We're gonna move on to best film editing. And the nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Perfect list almost, I feel. Like Anatomy of a Fall and Oppenheimer are so great in editing. It's probably one of their strengths. Poor Things, I thought did really well too.
Yeah. I think this is probably a really strong category. I think every single film here deserves its nomination.
Mm-hmm.
We touched upon it before. Killers of the Flower Moon. A 3 hour plus movie just went by so fast that we came out of the movie saying, "Isn't there more?"
Yeah, it
It
could
didn't
have
even
been
feel
long.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying we wanted more from a 3 hour movie. We wanted a 4 hour movie or
And
5 hour movie.
yeah, that's a very hard thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think
Um,
with Oppenheimer and Poor Things, the thing that it does really well is showcase time, like
mm,
time periods.
yeah.
That's really does well. And the holdovers, I think it captures a certain time period so well and
Mm,
edits it between them. So yeah, I think it's anyone's game really, but
yeah.
who knows?
I'd probably go Oppenheimer for the win on this one. It seems to be winning all the precursors and the
Yeah.
major categories. It's just Oppenheimer's year. Yeah. One category I wanted to flag is best documentary feature film. So the nominees were Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Maripol. And I just wanted to bring this one up because still a Michael J. Fox movie, which seemed to be dominating the precursors, wasn't nominated, which I thought was a major surprise. I don't know who's going to win this one now. Um, and it's interesting. I mean, American Sympathy was the other one that I thought we get nominated. Just a very bizarre category to begin with, but I still want to see that Michael J. Fox movie. I don't know too much, but I know enough that I'm intrigued to understand his story.
Yeah, me too, because I'm really a big fan of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And obviously he's the main character in that entire trilogy. So
Mhm.
I think and I do know the history between him and Parkinson's as well.
Yeah.
So I think it'll just be really interesting to like just see what that documentary is about and what he went through.
Because he hit him quite early, yeah, like
Like
late
very
20s.
at a very young age. Like it was pretty much like after the final Back to the Future, he started like showing symptoms or something like that. Then
And that's
pretty much
rough.
his career just had to end. I think he made like a TV series, I think, late last decade. And then
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. That's tough. But yeah, that's one I might watch if it's just available and around. Um, Best costume design. The nominees are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Oppenheimer nominated for the suits. I don't
Pretty
know why
much.
that's. I don't know what's nominated. I love Oppenheimer, but like, come on,
It's
there has
just
to
like
be.
it's like bland colored suits as well. It's either gray, black, or beige.
Yeah, the fact
And
that it's getting
that's it.
nominated, I'm like, okay, it's going to win Best Picture if they're going to nominate it for Best Costume Design because there's one
I,
costume.
I would say either Barbie, Killers. I think everything but Oppenheimer deserves to win when it comes to just pure costume design.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's a really strong category, and Oppenheimer is great, but the costuming is not a strong point.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I think Barbie should and will win. Just because I think the costuming kind of it adds character, and I think it just plays more of a pivotal role than the other than costuming in the other movies. But Poor Things, I think, is really great as well. You know, you kind of got that Victorian look, but in like a futuristic setting. It's really unique. So and I think just works so well for what they did in that movie. Like
Yeah.
the movie's just bizarre in terms of its atmosphere. It feels like it's in the future, but it also feels like it's in the past. So it makes it really weird.
It does, eh?
Yeah.
I think the visuals make it in the future, but the costuming makes it like 1700s.
Yeah. And just what happens in that movie, it feels very advanced. Best cinematography, the nominees are Al Conde. I don't know what that is. Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I haven't seen Al Conde. Honestly, the first time I'm hearing about it is when these nominations came up. But the other four were brilliant with cinematography. It's basically what we were predicting the whole way through. Yeah.
I think based on precursors and recent awards, I think Oppenheimer has the front foot forward.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see Poor Things win. I mean, I think the cinematography in that is fantastic. You know, the whole pastel sort of visual effects look
Yeah.
it gave was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
But
the fishbowl.
of course. No, the fishbowl is overused. Oppenheimer, I think, is probably, yeah, your go-to to win. I really did like Maestro. I thought it had some interesting stuff there, but the story, it just didn't work as much for me. And I think cinematography has to support the story as well. So I guess there's a bit of a disconnect there. While Oppenheimer just perfectly enhances the story, and the same goes for Poor Things. So those two be my top two. Killers of the Flower Moon is brilliant as always, just from a really polished director. We'll move on now to best original screenplay. So we got Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. And and yeah, Barbie, remember, is not part of this one because Oscars considered it adapted.
Rightfully so too. It is
Yeah,
it's adapted from something.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're a big advocate for May December. You really enjoy that film.
Yes.
uh I want Holdovers to win. I really enjoy that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, those two are my top two. I did love
Yeah.
Anatomy of a Fall as well, but the
That'll be my
ending to
second.
yeah. Anatomy of a Fall is really, really good dialogue. Like you keep guessing who killed the husband like right throughout the entirety of the movie. But
Yeah.
I think the ending does diminish a lot of what the first two acts did. So
It should have just ended in the court with the boy's face, right? I think that's what we
yeah,
discussed.
yeah, pretty much. But May December I think is brilliant. Maestro, not Maestro, God no. The Holdovers was brilliant too. I wouldn't be mad if either of those two won and then move forward, but Maestro, I do not want that winning. I would be vividly upset if that does happen. Past Lives I thought was brilliant too. Maybe a little bit underrated in this category from what we're saying. And it could be a surprise winner, but I wouldn't be angry if that won. I think it's deserving of something as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Best adapted screenplay. So we got American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So Killers of the Flower Moon snubbed from best adapted screenplay. How crazy, man! Yeah, that was a big one for me. I thought it would be nominated, might even win.
It's real it just goes to show how like volatile
Hmm.
Oscar nominations are.
Yeah,
Like everyone that you think would get nominated doesn't, and the people that you think won't get nominated do. It's just
there's always
not
some.
consistent,
Yeah.
not inconsistent here.
Hmm.
But I think what was it? American Fiction.
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Has been getting a lot of love through precursors and stuff like that.
It won Critics' Choice. The precursors are very even for this category. I think from what I saw, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Killers, American Fiction were all getting wins for Best Adapted Screenplay. And Barbie was getting lots of wins in Best Original Screenplay, but obviously it's not the case here. So, yeah. I don't know who wins this. The Zone of Interest I did not expect to be nominated at all for screenplay, but it snuck in here instead of Killers. Barbie could easily win Best Adapted Screenplay, but I would just be safe and say Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and if we're going through the night, and me and Anne are thinking of live streaming the Oscars, not the actual footage, but us talking about the Oscars as the whole thing's going on. If Oppenheimer wins Best Adapted Screenplay, it's winning Best Picture. I believe that will absolutely happen. So stay tuned for that. But yeah,
March 11th
huh?
or March 10th for your Northies.
Yes. Oh man, I'm excited. But yeah, if Oppenheimer wins this, I'm fairly confident it's going to win Best Picture at the end of the night. We'll move on now to Best Animated Feature. So we got The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
Wish wasn't nominated.
The fact that it was even shortlisted is a disgrace to the Oscars. Yeah, cool. They redeemed themselves in the actual nominations, but why the fuck was you even shortlisted for? God damn. I just recently looked up Robot Dreams, and that's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really?
Didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably one that will be on my watch radar. I know Pneumonia is definitely one as well.
Yeah.
But I think based on precursors and actual award seasons, I think it's between Spider-Man and The Boy, with Spider-Man having the edge.
Yeah, it's really between those two. I think The Boy and the Heron can upset. It did get the Globe.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, but Spider-Man
think-
Across Spider-Verse, I think, is the safe choice.
Do you think this is the category that will be decided by the SAGs?
The SAGs don't do animated. The SAGs are acting guilds, but I think the PGAs are the ones that you would look for this, or potentially BAFTA. Yeah. The SAGs are the ones you find the acting categories, but also the ensemble. Whoever wins the ensemble for SAGs, they have a really strong alignment with who wins Best Picture. So they all kind of play a part in it. But yeah, the PGAs is probably the one you gotta look up for animated.
That's probably the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Okay, Best Directing now. We got Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet, Killers of the Flower Moon director, Martin Scorsese, Oppenheimer director, Christopher Nolan, Poor Things director, Yorgos Lanthimos, and The Zone of Interest director, Jonathan Glazer. So I think Justine Triet being nominated was a massive surprise. I've heard so much dialogue about the fact that Greta Gerwig was missing from this list, and it is quite shocking, in my opinion. And I was fully expecting that she would get a nomination. In terms of deserving the nomination, I'm not 100% sure. One, I haven't seen The Zone of Interest, so I don't know if Jonathan Glazer is as great. You can comment on that. But I think what Greta Gerwig did, it deserves some sort of recognition in the form of a nomination, not a win, obviously. But she's basically toe-to-toe with Justine Triet in terms of the quality coming from that movie. I don't know. Maybe she deserved it over Justine Triet but they're very different circumstances. But yeah, it is a shock that she didn't get nominated, and I think she did deserve it. I just don't know who I would throw out at this point in time since I haven't seen them all. But once again, we're coming from like one of the most stacked years that I've ever seen. No, I think Alexander Payne directed The Holdovers. I think he deserves to be in here. Like, Like there's just so much. I mean, Bradley Cooper missed out for Maestro. There's so much things that are missing out from this. And so I think, you know, there's only room for five, and Greta Gerwig just didn't make it. Celine's song wasn't in there. And we all thought for a lot of the year that she'd be nominated. So I guess it's just part of the process. But yeah, what
Yeah.
do you think about this list of five?
I think best directing besides best picture is the only one that could potentially be extended. Like it would be good to have 8 or 10. I think 10 might be a push, but I think eight's a good number for having best directors, because you mentioned, Alexander Payne, Celine Song, Greta Gerwig goes, oh, that's 3 nominations, boom, that's 8, and that's pretty much the 8 best directors of the year right then and there. In regards to Greta Gerwig not getting nominated out of all of these, I think Jonathan Glazer definitely deserves it. The only one that I would take away would be Justin Triet. But then again, you mentioned it before, they're like so neck and neck. It's a bit hard to tell. So I think that's probably something that Academy should think about long term, is extending this particular category, because, I mean, The Holdovers was fantastically directed. Dominic Sessa, his first ever film, and he pretty much gave an Oscar-worthy performance in his first ever film. Crazy. I think it's pretty much between Oppenheimer and Christopher Nolan and Yorgos.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two that I'd want to win. Obviously, Nolan being number one, and then Yorgos number 2.
Yeah. And honestly, Nolan's dominating everything, even from the major award shows to precursors. And I honestly think it's Nolan's year. Again, anyone who listens to us knows that I'm a really, really big fan of Nolan since forever. But I don't want to get my hopes up. But if I am trying to be as non-biased as possible and trying to give people the good advice here in terms of what they think will win, I think Nolan's winning it. Honestly, I think he's not a lock yet, but he's damn near close. I don't see anyone winning it. And if anyone else is going to win, I would probably say Yorgos, maybe Scorsese, but Killers of the Flower Moon is kind of losing steam. It's losing its momentum a lot throughout award season. Yeah. Best Actress in Supporting Roles will be a quick one, but the nominees are Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Inyad, Davine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. Again, you've been hearing this podcast. Put your money on Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. She's won already. So, yeah, no need to discuss that one further. But America Ferrera being nominated. Thoughts on that one? That was a surprise to me.
It was a surprise to you and all the other, 7 billion people in this country, or this bloody planet. Like, she got nominated over, the 2 people from May December, Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman was fantastic.
Yeah.
Case could be made for lead, for sure. But Julianne Moore was fantastic in this.
Such a robbery.
America Ferrera just basically, I'm going to say, got nominated for that 10-second monologue. It's the only reason why she's in here.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And when we spoke about this with Kyan, he put it in a way to me where I was like, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And it's like that monologue is to the writer, not the actor. Like there's so many, actresses that could pull that monologue off, but the writing, that's the true magic of that monologue. And
exactly,
it's a shame she got nominated. And I mean, I liked her in the movie. I liked her role, but yeah, you don't compare to, a May December actor who, by the way, all got snubbed. Every single one of them didn't get nominated for some reason.
It's crazy.
It might be one of the most powerhouse movies in terms of acting for the year. And it makes me mad. But yeah, I haven't seen Jodie Foster either, so who knows if she really deserves that spot in nominations. Otherwise, we're moving on to Best Actress in a Leading Role. We have Annette Bening in Inyad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller in Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. I know I know that I've seen a lot of comments and discourse over Margot Robbie not being nominated for Barbie, but I mean, let's be real, guys. You're talking about one of the most stacked best actress categories lineups in like the last decade, in my opinion. Like there was no room for Margot Robbie to be in there, and she's great in the movie, but she doesn't have that performance where you're just like stunned. At least in my opinion. The other ones, like just watch all of these other performances. Perhaps Annette Bening doesn't deserve to be in there, but Greta Lee would slide in there if she wasn't nominated. Or I mean, I think there's another performance as well that I really liked.
Portman.
Fantasia Barrino for Color Purple. She's brilliant as
Yeah.
well. There's just so many that missed out, and Mark Rory was one of them. So you just have to accept that. Otherwise, I think Emma Stone's going to win it now after Lily Gladstone missed the BAFTA. She wasn't even nominated, so I think Emma Stone's currently in front here.
I agree. I did say before that she's my pick to win with Lily Gladstone second. I wouldn't be surprised if Gladstone won.
Yeah, same.
If it did happen on that night, because
Yeah,
she has been dominating a lot of the precursors and
definitely.
stuff like that. But Emma Stone is the best actress
Yeah,
of the last year.
for sure. Move on to Best Actor in a Supporting Role. So Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. I haven't seen American Fiction yet, but Charles Melton for May December missed out, which is a surprise. I was really rooting for him, honestly. Like, it would probably be him and Robert Downey Jr. that I would love to win this award. Whichever one did win, I'd be happy with. But now my sights has set towards Robert Downey Jr. I think he's a borderline lock at this point. I don't see anyone else really upsetting him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was during the precursors. It was either him or Melton, right? They were the ones that were nabbing the awards.
Yep.
So it's really surprising why he didn't even get recognized in this. And I guess it goes to show that Oscars is stupidly inconsistent and
Yeah, it is weird.
stuff like that. Yeah,
like I think May December only got a nomination in screenplay, no picture.
crazy.
Yeah, maybe
I don't like the movie, but I do recognize it as a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and at least the acting, I think that's the best part of the movie, and it's nowhere to be found. Which is but I'm glad Mark Ruffalo snuck in there, or maybe didn't sneak in there, but I'm glad he got the nomination, especially over Dafoe. I thought Ruffalo was just so great in that movie.
Yeah. Just Dafoe has that one iconic moment.
Yes, he does. Moving on now to a Best Actor in a Leading Role. The nominees are Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Coleman Domingo in Rustin, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. So no Leo. DiCaprio did not get nominated. Now that I was not expecting that. That's the biggest surprise out of all these nominations, because I knew DiCaprio wouldn't win, but I was like, okay, well, he'll be nominated and so on and so on. But
just
he didn't,
just because of his name. And
yeah, exactly. Like that, right. Yeah. But for this category, Giamatti and Cillian Murphy, they're the 1-2 race in this. Yeah. And sure. I don't know who I honestly don't know. I think it's a 50-50 race at this point. I just don't know. Yeah. I might say Cillian Murphy just because the Academy seems to love Oppenheimer so much based on these nominations.
I'll back Giamatti just to go opposite of you.
Fair enough. I'll move on now to Best Picture. So we got American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Honestly, I think it's a pretty great list. I think it's exactly what I was predicting in terms of what would actually make the nominations. But all in all, it's done really well. All the movies, I haven't seen Zone of Interest or American Fiction yet, just because it's not available here. But I expect them to be nominated, and there's no true snubs in the Best Picture category, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the 10 best films of 2023 have been nominated. I mean, I can't think of anything that would replace anything here. I think they're all perfectly nominated.
Yeah.
I think Oppenheimer might have the lead edge. Its closest competitor for me, probably Poor Things or The Holdovers.
Killers? Or have you lost faith in Killers?
I sort of lost faith on that. You know, the precursors didn't show it that much love. The actual awards haven't shown it that much love. It is a good film for sure, but I think the top 3 is Past Lives, No, poor thing. Sorry, Oppenheimer
Hmm.
and the Holdovers. I think
Yeah,
that's the top three.
holdovers might get in there, eh? But honestly, I think it's Oppenheimer. Like, yeah, I think it's Oppenheimer. Seriously, because it's winning everything, and it's won the majority of the best picture stuff so far. So yeah, I honestly have full faith that it's going to go through. I don't like saying it too much because I don't want to be disappointed, but for the sake of trying to be as objective as possible for this potty, I think it's safe to say that Oppenheimer is your front runner for the Oscars so far. But we'll have to see how SAGs go, the PGAs, all that stuff. We are going to be covering it, throughout the season as we get there. We got about a month to go until the Oscars, so it's a good time. Me and
Exactly.
Nan, yeah, we're going to be start being a lot more active on the podcast now. Video podcasts are coming soon, so just be on the lookout for that. We'll make sure it's a big thing. We'll throw the links in our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. That's where you can find us, and that's where you can be on the lookout for our first video podcast. I've always said that we look better than we sound, so you are in for a treat real soon. Otherwise, you know what to do. Head to everything at moviegames or moviegames.com for all your movie needs. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Next week, I think we're doing something. So be on the lookout. Thanks again for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See you later.